And it looks like it was a really nice day for whale watching as well, huh?
Yeah, a little more sunshine along the coast than we anticipated, which is always a pleasant surprise here in the middle of August. Usually a fairly gray time along the coast, and that's going to be the case largely for the next several days. So enjoy that sunshine, soak it up while it's here. And for people who live inland like me, some relief from the heat on the way. We're looking forward to that. Let's take a look at the big picture pattern. We'll talk about how things are going to change over the course of the next several days. The heat dome is retreating farther and farther away from the Bay Area and California in general. So a stronger onshore breeze is going to be kicking in. The lack of the weight of the atmosphere on top of us means a deeper marine layer, which is going to push farther inland every night and early morning. The upshot is a return to closer to normal temperatures beginning already tomorrow, though still slightly above average inland, but within about 2 to 4 degrees of what is normal for early August. It's also going to help our air quality, that stronger onshore breeze. We're mostly in the moderate category today. It's not dreadful, especially downwind compared to downwind of the Park Fire in Northern California, but the stronger onshore breeze should improve on even that moderate air quality, and we should be in the good category across the board by the time Sunday rolls around. There is that deeper marine layer and the fog therein almost swallowing up Sutro Tower, but you can still see the top of the spires on Sutro Tower. Temperatures are still hot inland, but closer to normally hot as opposed to over 100 degrees like we had in Livermore at 5 o'clock yesterday. Low to mid 90s east of the Oakland Hills. Inland temperatures range from 79 degrees in Santa Rosa to 86 degrees in San Jose, other than those spots inland in the East Bay, with temperatures around the bay only in the low to mid 60s in both San Francisco and in Oakland. The fog is going to make more of a push across the bay and into the inland valleys by early tomorrow morning. It won't last too long, but just long enough to put the brakes on the warm-up for a little while. That fog is going to retreat to around the bay by about 10 o'clock or so, retreating to the coast as we head towards lunchtime, but I don't think it's going to retreat away from the coast. That's going to be the case tomorrow and over the course of the next several days. In fact, it's going to be a pretty consistent weather pattern. Let's talk about our low temperatures for tonight. We'll bring the map up and talk about where lows are going to end up by early tomorrow morning, which are going to be fairly close to normal for this time of year. A lot of 50s on the map, a few spots in the 60s, 62 in San Jose and Los Gatos, but 58 in Morgan Hill. Even the warmest spots far inland in the East Bay dropping to the middle portion of the 60s, so that represents some free air conditioning after another hot day. Mostly in the 50s around the bay and mostly in the 50s for the valleys of the North Bay as well, dropping down to 52 degrees for Petaluma and Santa Rosa, and all the way down to about 51 degrees in Bodega Bay. Temperatures are going to warm up tomorrow, but again, we'll take a slight step down from where we were today, which is a slight step down from where we were yesterday. So we're talking about temperatures that are going to be in the upper 70s and low 80s for the North Bay, of course, low 60s along the coast. Still mostly 90s east of the Oakland Hills. Fairfield, you might fall just short of 90 degrees, lucky you. Temperatures in the 70s for Fremont, low 80s down the peninsula in Redwood City, with a mix of 80s and lower half of the 90s in the Santa Clara Valley. But all these numbers are closer to what is typical for this time of year. And as we look a little bit farther down the line, the long-range outlook from the Climate Prediction Center does show that we are going to see a continuing break from the worst of the heat in terms of the temperatures over the course of the next several days. There should be a map that pops up here on the floor, and it's not popping up. Okay, we'll just go to the 7-day forecast to talk about what's going to happen over the course of the next several days. And you can see that drop in temperatures that kicks in even inland. We're talking about mid 80s by Sunday and Monday for some of the warmest spots, which means it's really going to be a mix of upper 70s and low to mid 80s. Then a return to near normal temperatures by Tuesday and Wednesday. But normal this time of year, things could be a whole lot worse. Temperatures around the bay, hardly any change. Morning fog giving way to afternoon sunshine. Temperatures kind of averaging out in the low to mid 70s, with temperatures along the coast. You're going to be in the lower half of the 60s, and I hope you enjoyed that sunshine today. The fog is going to be abundant over the course of the next 7 days at least, including over the weekend. So it's what you expect here in August. Ann?
All right, that is why those whales had to pop up their heads today to check it out. Thank you for that, Paul.